Thank you so much for continuing to listen to American Medicine Today, our affiliate segment.
Yes.
I'm Kimberly Bonatti, joined by Ethan Euchre.
I'm glad to be here.
And world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonatti. Now, when a loved one is diagnosed with a life-threatening illness, we experience a wide range of emotions, and our next guest is here to talk about what that's like. Please welcome Anthony Randle to the show. His latest book, A Husband, Best Friend, and Caregiver, The Struggle Within. Thank you for being here, Anthony.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So, Anthony, take us back to that day that your wife was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. I can't imagine what was going through your minds.
I ended up taking her to the emergency room, and that's when we got the diagnosis from the doctor that was there. Matter of fact, his mother had been diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer when he was 18 years old. He was just telling us how he was taking his mom to different hospitals and stuff when he was a teenager in college. And, you know, as he was taking her through there, he felt himself just wearing down, and his mom could see it. And, you know, she just told him, hey, you know, I'm ready to go. And he told me that he just felt like inside he could have did more for his mom. And right then and there, he told me, hey, do me a favor. He said, do not give up on your wife. He said, because I felt like I could have did more for my mom. And after we had the conversation and stuff, you know, he left and came back, admitted my wife into the hospital, pointed us in the direction to give us a choice of two of the best female doctors as far as dealing with breast cancer. Once we picked out one and we went to see her, you know, she told my wife while we were sitting in the room with her that, you know, she can mix all the different drugs together and everything. But if my wife is mentally not willing to live, that, you know, the medicine she's mixing together will not help. And, you know, my wife pretty much just told her that, hey, you know, I'm not going anywhere. I have my son and my husband to take care of. You know, after that, you know, we asked the doctor, you know, is there anything as far as nutrition that we need to do or we need to change? And, you know, she told us no. And you know how sometimes, you know, when you get an answer from somebody, it hits you in your gut, like when something just doesn't sound right.
Correct.
Well, it didn't sound right to us, and, you know, we discussed it on the way home. But after that, you know, we decided to make a life change, not a diet change or anything like that. We decided to make a life change. So we started doing some research and starting to remove like all the sugars, the manufactured sugar stuff out of the house and everything. Started to eat more vegetables and just started to do better on our nutrition. And, you know, me supporting my wife, I did it with her as well. And as she was going through the chemo, she did 8 segments of chemo. But while she was eating well, and we cut out all the manufactured sugar just in general, the chemo didn't bother her. She actually had more strength. It took all the way to the 8th treatment before her hair started falling out. But she had more strength. She had more strength and more endurance than I did.
Now, Anthony, I just want to back you up for a quick minute, because in the prep that came along with your book, it mentioned something about how, and you kind of just glossed over it, that you had a dream, apparently, that you should take sugar out of your wife's diet. Tell us about that. I'm always interested when people are sort of receive messages through dreams, you know?
The dream I had, though, I had inner struggle myself. I didn't know I had PTSD from, you know, just being in the military and everything that I went through from being overseas. I ended up having a dream because deep inside myself, I was dealing with what I was dealing with. And then to get the diagnosis from my wife, and it just escalated into just overwhelming fear inside. And, you know, and I just had this inner fear of just, you know, leaving my wife or just walking away from my wife, because I felt like I couldn't handle it because I was battling with something internal. And that night, you know, I just prayed, and next thing you know, I had this dream, and it was so real that I was at a funeral, and it was pouring down raining. My son was standing across from me, and it was a little casket, and I didn't know who casket it was. It was, you know, I'm sitting here, and my son raises his head up, and he looks at me, and I could see the rain coming down, but the rain wasn't touching me. And my son looked at me, and he just kind of shook his head. And all of a sudden, I just got whisked away from being at a funeral into an emergency room, and my wife was in a hospital room, and my wife was right there, and I was standing beside her bed, and she couldn't see me, but the thing was that I could feel everything that she all her love and everything. And right then and there, I knew what had happened. It's like it was showing me that I had left her, and what was the result of me leaving her. I could still feel that she still had love for me even after I left her, and she was laying in the bed dying.
Wow.
And I can feel all the love. And the thing was that got me was, even though I had left her, she still loves me. Mm-hmm. And she was still wondering what I was doing at that time. Mm-hmm. And I sat there and watched her pass away.
In your dream.
And next thing you know, I woke up. And when I woke up,
you knew what you had to do.
I was crying, and I went to the closet, and I was in the closet balled up crying the whole time.
That's unbelievable. So that was probably your turning point where you thought, you know what, I have to cast aside all doubt. I have to stand beside my wife and help her through this battle with cancer, right?
Yes, it was, because when I came out that closet that morning, I had this unbelievable strength that I cannot describe to this day. But it was like, if you're going to support somebody and you've been with somebody for years, and that love that you feel, I mean, just turn it up like 10 notches. And that's exactly what I felt when I came out of the closet that morning. The
title of your book denotes the struggle within, I'm sure. And it probably makes you feel terrible as a person to even have those thoughts that I just want to walk away from this. I don't know if I can deal with this. My loved one is struggling through an illness that could potentially kill them. And I want to just walk away from it and wash my hands from it. It's got to be, like you said, a struggle within. But so for you to have that sort of dream to give you that power to help and become a caregiver is pretty commendable. So only got a couple of minutes left. Tell us, how did your wife eventually beat cancer?
It was just a number of things. It was just, her mindset, for one. You got to be in the mindset. And the thing was, we didn't go in it as far as saying, okay, we're going to battle it or we're going to fight it. We kind of did like any sports team, you come up with a plan. And that's what we did. We came up with a plan as far as her nutrition, as far as being active, exercising, and everything. It was just a number of things that she did. But it all starts with just your mindset, knowing that you're going to be all right, and the support and the love and everything.
Well, it must have been a relief to her that she had a partner, because when you talk about like a lifestyle change, it wasn't just her trying to change her lifestyle, but you were right there with her, whether it be playing tennis, eating right, taking sugar out of each one of your diets, but you were doing that as a team and as a family. Mm-hmm. And positive outlook obviously is key. We've heard that not only from you, but multiple other cancer survivors.
That's right.
Yes, it's definitely easier when you have somebody there with you. And like you said, just being there doing everything with her. I wasn't sitting there trying to have her to eat healthy, and then I'm sitting here eating bad right in front of her. So I was like, well, Correct. If I'm going to do this, we're going to do this all together.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Anthony Randle, who is author of A Husband, Best Friend, and Caregiver, The Struggle Within. Thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you guys for having me. Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, that's got to be a hard situation to be in for sure, but you got to stand by your loved ones. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, that wraps things up. Thanks for listening to American Medicine Today.